Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the week one lesson for geometry around the globe. This is Miss Oric, and I'm going to go over a couple things that you will see in this video. You will be able to listen and follow along, and then I will also upload a copy of this for you as well. So, um, in our week one lesson, we're going to talk about the basics of geometry just so that we all have a general understanding of what geometry involves. So in geometry, we have quadrilaterals. And a quadrilateral has four sides. There are several types of quadrilaterals, and they include shapes such as parallelograms, rhombuses, trapezoids, squares, and rectangles. And quadrilaterals are also a type of polygon, if you did not know that. So that is a pretty interesting piece of information for those who did not know. So when you look at these, can you guess what type of quadrilateral which one is? So let's look and see. I'm going to give you a moment if you look at it and take your best guess. And 1, 2, 3. We're going to go on to our answer slide here. So you'll see that we have a trapezoid here, a rhombus, a rectangle, a square, and a parallelogram. So maybe you got 100. If you didn't, that's okay. Again, this is just giving you a little background information about the basics of geometry before we get into the actual concepts of geometric shapes and how geometry itself has contributed to different things in our world. So when we look at geometry, we discuss polygons, and a polygon is a two-dimensional shape formed with straight lines. Triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons, and hexagons are all examples of polygons. Now, I'm not going to play the video in here, but there is a polygon video rap song if you want to take a look at it, and you can just click on the link right here for the YouTube link to watch that. Okay? So triangles are polygons that can be named by the length of their sides. So this one is an equilateral triangle, and that is because all of the sides are equal in length. Pretty simple and straightforward. And then we go into what's an isosceles triangle, and that's this one here where two of the sides, which we have right here, are equal, but not the third. And then we have what's called a scalene triangle, and none of the sides are the same length. You can see this is one length, this is another length, and this one is also a different length from the other two. So those are our three different types of triangles. And then we get into what are our other polygons. We've got pentagons, octagons, and hexagons. And a pentagon has 5 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 angles. Here's where they meet. That is your angle here, and here, and here, and here, and here. So that is our pentagon, pentagon 5, octagon. I like to think of like an octopus, right? An octagon has 8 sides and 8 angles. And then we have our hexagon. And our hexagon has 6 sides and 6 angles. So those are some other types of polygons if you were not aware of what they were. And then we get into what are our 3D shapes. And a lot of geometry involves 3D shapes and figures. So we've got our cylinders, our cubes, our spheres, pyramids, rectangular prisms, and triangular prisms. And you can find these items even in your house. You might go into your kitchen and see a lot of things that have it, that are cylinders, that are cubes, maybe not a sphere, maybe not a pyramid, but definitely you will find a lot of these different shapes just by looking around your house. So 3D shapes are everywhere. Now, when we talk about geometry, we also talk about open and closed shapes. So we have an open shape that looks like this, where it is open, it is not completely closed, and it's made up of line segments. And these are our line segments right here. And in an open shape, there's at least one segment, so the one here, that is not connected to any of its endpoints. So it is not a closed shape. When we look here, all of our line segments, here there are 4, are connected to one another, so that is closed. Here, open, and here we have our closed shapes. Okay, so as we move forward, we also talk about rays. An array is a line with a single endpoint here and extends indefinitely, means it goes on and on and on and on and on, non-stop in one direction. So that is what is our array. And if we were to call or name this array, it would be LS because we start at our endpoint and that's where we name our array. So LS would be our array for this one. Then we have what looks like array. These are called parallel lines. And these are two lines that will never cross. They run in both directions, indefinitely, on and on and on and on, side by side, like friends, okay? They kind of stick together, but they never cross one another, okay? So they remain parallel, side by side. And then we have our intersecting lines, and when they intersect, they cross, okay? So we've got our line here, our XY, and our CD here, and they cross, but also like our parallel lines, they go indefinitely in both directions. So these will continue to go on and on and on and on and on in that direction and go on and on and on and on and on in that direction, but still they do meet and they cross. So intersecting, they make an X or they cross at some point. Parallel, they never cross, but they continue side by side to one another. So then we go into different types of angles. And our angles we have are our obtuse, which they're very wide, okay, more than 90 degrees. We have our acute, which are very small, less than 90. And then we have our right angles, which create like an L shape. And you see this little box, that lets us know that it is a right angle. So 3 different types of angles: obtuse, acute, and our right angles. So now when we go into geometry and explore how it is found in our world, there are a lot of different things, as I said before, that you can look, just by simply looking around you, you can see our geometric shapes. So this is a video that you're going to watch. I'm not going to click on the link now, but you can later. And it is about geometry being everywhere. And it just has some images about geometric shapes found in the real world. So maybe some of these you've thought of and maybe some you haven't. So definitely click on the link to learn more about that. And then finally, this is not an assignment, but if you're interested in doing just some geometry practice and you want to test your knowledge and see what you know, this is a great link to use from Khan Academy and covers just basic principles of geometry. So that is our week 1 presentation. Again, this will be for you to review as many times as you need to and upload or download rather. But this again gives us just a basic understanding of geometric shapes, figures, some of the concepts that go with that, and then this will be our basis for what we refer to and we use when we discuss geometry and its connection to things in our world. So hopefully this was informative. Again, this will be for you to watch and upload it here to week 1. And if you have any questions about this presentation or anything from this week's work, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you, and I will talk to you soon.